Also, yeah, if it's too much coming out, the hormone too much coming out. Now, don't forget, these are all acidic, if we're going to use the word alkalines, acidics, whatever you call it. We all know that because these are liquid form, which, regulating our life force, if you want to call it, right? Yeah. But if it's too much and you cannot stop it, right? It's still sipping out inside the body because you haven't closed the glands. Do you know how to close the glands? Everybody said, oh, we open up what? What are we opening up? But nobody talk about closing it. Huh? So what happened? So excessive of all these hormones or biological compound, if you want to use it, still sipping out. So even if you put, now just say a glass of water, just ordinary water, you put an apple inside and just inside let it start rotting, isn't it? It start rotting, even a glass of water. So if you put that perception into yourself that you open the glands, fine, is a good thing. Do you know how to close it? Or how are we going to deal with it? So we keep on coming out. Of course, if it's excessive again, the yin and yang principle, the cell will die. And when the cell dies, and what? It's rotten. When all the cell rotten, that's what today we call it cancer, isn't it? It's cancerous. That's a simple term. This term's only come into existence, right? About 50 years, 60 years after, I think, after the Second World War, we used cancerous. We're all cancerous because we got trillions of living cells in our body. All cells are going to die and regenerate. So don't be frightened talking about cancer cell. It's just illnesses, if you want to call it. Illnesses. True? So these are all medical studies. So don't worry, oh yeah, I got cancer. Then I got successful cases with, quite a number of successful cases with cancer patients. So these are what we're trying to learn, are we not? So how can I teach you over, a short period of time? So that's why I think, we all try to help people, to help ourselves first, and we try to help people. So this is a medical study. That's what research is all about, isn't it? Now, the thing is, now we have a lot of medical profession here, which is obviously, I'm sure, the doctors, and I've got a whole team of professors as well as my consultants. Yeah. And we all been through it. But to us, we know that it takes some time to learn and practice this medicine. Now, for our friends who haven't got a chance, right, to go into university now, because a lot of the time that, a lot of people, when you are young, you're not interested in, doing all these things because, your interest may be something else. And also when you're young, maybe you have to work, you don't have time to go to university or whatever reason, family reason. Now, you're here now. That means what? That means you are worried about your own health. True? So when you talk about health, you talk about medicine. And when you talk about medicine, right, you are talking about university. Or any country can teach medicine in college. I don't know. Maybe I miss it. So I'd like to ask you to tell me what country have college start teaching, medicine. So what happened is now research for all those years, I'm trying to put up to, I'm always mentioning about the university curriculum because a lot of people ask me or ask the group leaders that, I don't want to, the degree. No, that's fine. You don't need the degree if you don't want to turn into professional medical professions. Yeah, at least yourself, you benefit from it. True. Yeah. But when your energy bubbling up, you can just put out and trigger your patients. Things will happen. Don't you think you'd be a bit more careful? Because at the end of the day, two things you have to be very careful. First, now, there are many fatalities happened in the past, thousands of years. Many people die. I give you an example. Now, a lot of people learn it. It's just, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. Yes, you can do it. Everybody can do it. So somebody come in and you don't know, because you don't know how to make diagnosis. You've energized him, bang. And it turned out with, especially people have today now, COVID-19 now. Yeah. So we have a stroke, a lot of people now, and we have the heart attack. And you don't know anything about it. You don't know how to make diagnosis. Oh, yeah, I'm going to zap him. I'm going to zap him. Of course, I know you want to zap him because this is part of our therapy treatment, isn't it? But then if he's come in with a heart problem and you don't know how to make diagnosis and you know, pumping energy work, isn't it, into the person, I'm telling you, he's going to drop dead right in front of you. Why? Because it's excessive already. The heart is excessive. Is it the heart? The energy, you call it energy, right? Or you can tell it the natural body medicine, which is regulating the health problem of the heart, is too much, you're ill. Not enough, also ill, insufficient. But do you know, is it yang or is it yin? You don't know. So bang, you put energy in it. Now the energy we release, now is all in my publication, right? Many papers and, you know, hundreds of lectures is two types, electromagnetic field and low frequency infrared. Now these are all done by scientists, so don't argue about that. So you are actually training to nourishing your electromagnetic field and also your low frequency infrared, which is the heat. Okay, so that's why it's very important that you have to know the 5 element cycle, because you cannot just bang send energy into people, because like the heart, if it's too excessive, don't treat the heart straight away, my friend. Don't go around. And I know a lot of people, even in China, in Hong Kong, now even in Australia and Canada, right? Even maybe all over the world, have a look. Now these so-called, you know, Pak Da Gong in China, somebody cook things up, it's just like you're hitting it like this. Yes, it's important you're hitting that. Right? There's somebody, you know, in Australia, somebody was teaching this kind of stuff, and the guy go to the NIC because, right, yeah, his patient died, right? And what happened? Their relatives sue him, and because fatality. Why? It's excessive, and you keep on triggering the heart even more and more energy, even more. You're releasing more natural body medicine, right? Maybe serotonin, right? Yeah, into the heart, and excessive cardiac arrest. So the guy was still in the NIC. There's plenty of story like that. So I would advise you, don't play with. You play with your own life, but please don't play with other people's life, because you might, yeah, get yourself into trouble. Because also, now that's criminal. Now, even if it's not criminal, okay, have you got insurance? Have you got insurance? Now, if somebody turn around and say that, right, you're really damaging yourself, they're going to sue you. So you're going to explain to the judge. The judge say, sorry, are you qualified in medical professions? What university you finish your degree in medicine? What type of medicine you practice? Sorry, Your Honor, is this Buddhist monk, you know, my master taught me that. So if you're the judge, what will be your verdict? Now, if you're lost, you have no insurance, right? You'll lose a lot of money because the claimants will claim you for damages. So all this, you have to study, because this very basic medical insurance and things, and, you know, you have to have a license. You have to finish the medical study and get a license to protect yourself and protect the, you know, the people, because obviously things are happening. So these are not funny things. So a lot of people say, hey, energy work, oh, I can do it, I love to do it. Of course you do. But as a professor, I cannot just not tell you the thing that you don't want to hear, or you may, you know, you don't want to know. Now that's your Tao, that's your destiny. But don't run away from problem. You will go into this problem because your energy work will bubbling up. And I'm congratulating you, because everybody does. So you better prepare yourself, learning how to control that. If I can do it, every one of you can do it. Don't forget, because I start when I was 53 years old. So don't tell me that I was too late. And I finished my doctor's degree 7 years when I was 60. And now I'm 70 now. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing the research. So if I can set an example for you, maybe, I hope that, we can work together as a team. That's what we're all about. Okay, so I draw it very clearly now for this year. So I give you some, heads up, and you know exactly what are you doing. Now, some people will say, oh, I don't want to, go back to, you don't have to, but at least do it for yourself. Don't you think it's better to train instead of you induce the wrong natural body medicine and fatality happen? Okay, then that's not funny, isn't it? So after you're doing it, you might as well get recognition from, national recognized university, qualification to practice properly. Don't you think so? Because you're doing it anyway. Would it be better than somebody else? Sorry, oh, where do you learn it from? Oh, I've gone through research and I go into Beijing University and blah, 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 blah. Or you said, oh, my master Li taught me this. The Buddha from, they teach me that. Oh, up to you. So to me, it would be better, since we are spending time and efforts into it, is your own training, is your well-being, isn't it? So I would recommend, obviously, just to think it more details that because it is a medical study, and I can only help you in medical study side. I cannot help you on spiritual side, so you come to the wrong teacher if you want to go through those spiritual things. I'm sure they know what they're doing. I'm not commenting on that. So don't come back to me, right? Yeah, and ask me to help, get yourself really into illness if you're really sick and come back. Right? Yeah, and also I'm 70 years old now. So many people ask me to help them. I'm too old now. I teach now. I don't take on cases now. And I can teach you, and I want you to be good. Fair enough. I want you to be good and fully qualified and go out there, help people. Self-healing, right? Yeah. That is very, very important.